Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. And for a limited time only, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code GYB50. That's how Alberta wins.
Well, once again, the Oilers find themselves chasing a game, and they just couldn't quite catch it again. Overtime loss. They do manage to salvage a point, but not a great weekend overall for this club. They come home licking their wounds, hoping a little bit of time at home will help them get their game back on track. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. So glad you're along for the ride tonight. Looking forward to breaking this game down. We've got Struds coming up. We got Zuby at the controls. Might even check in with Rob Brown coming up a little bit later on. As always, our show is a proud presentation of our title sponsors over at Timber Hoss Developments, the leader in custom and infill development with the knowledge and experience to bring your dream to light. If you are tired of cookie cutter, copy and paste designs with no soul, well, check these out, right? Just unique, beautiful designs from the team at Timber Hoss. Take all the guesswork out of your infill project and work with the experienced leaders that you will find. Their website is timberhoss.ca. I am rocking and rolling from our beautifully lit, ready to roll Timber Hoss studio out here in Sherwood Park as we check in with Zoobs. And we check in with Struds. Gentlemen, how was the Sunday? Zuby, how was your Sunday? Was it leisurely before the work night tonight, buddy? What'd you get up to?
It was somewhat leisurely. I did get to watch a little bit of football today while we have some family visiting, but they all, my wife and the kids and the other family members all kind of had to go out on some little excursions. So even though I was tasked with some other things I was supposed to take care of during that time, I did manage to watch a couple hours of NFL Red Zone.
There you go.
Lucky guy. Yeah, I had a pretty easy one. A little bit of yard work, some running around with the kids, a family dinner. So yeah, nothing too crazy today. Set the week pretty nicely.
Yep. It was a nice leisurely Sunday. Quick little elliptical this morning, Struds. Workout to start the day. just waiting to see if you're going to hit that one. Huh?
No. I didn't know. I thought maybe you took your elliptical for a walk. That's a workout, I guess. So I didn't know. I didn't get it. I'm with you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, hey, it was a great day. Weather kind of turned a little bit, so it was a good day to stay home. By the way, you were talking about chili on Struddy's World not too long ago. Randine made a chili. Definitely a contender here, Struds. Just keep an open mind. Keep an open mind here, right? But the ingredient that kind of catches you off guard, but it's like, whoa, it's a difference maker. Pineapple in the chili, buddy.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if there's one way of doing chili. I've seen a lot of different ways, so I'd be open to that idea. I love pineapple on pizza. Why can't it be in other areas that I love as well?
If it's spicy, I like savory with a little bit of sweet and spicy with a little bit of sweet too. So I'm into that. I'd try that.
Yeah. That'll be leftovers tomorrow for another cozy day tomorrow. And for the Jays game, ready to rock and roll. Those really are some very beautiful homes, says Kayla Weethorn. Plus, they have a basement. What a dream. I wish we had basements down here in Texas, talking about the Timber Hoss homes that we showed at the beginning of the show. Yeah, we're not joking around. They're big time. They do some really nice stuff. All right, gents, let's get to talking some hockey, shall we? Oilers finishing off their back-to-back set in Vancouver tonight against the Canucks, and another night where they definitely took some time to find their legs and found themselves down in another game. Let's get to our Canadian Brewhouse breakdown. Hockey lives at the Canadian Brewhouse every Oiler game day at any Edmonton and area location. Enter to win Oiler home game tickets at Rogers Place. Plus, enjoy $1 off Molson Canadian and Coors Light tankards. 30-plus beers on tap, 50-plus TVs at all their locations. You know it's the place to go. You know. If you want to watch a game, Canadian Brewhouse. Find one near you. It is the place to watch a game. Okay, Struds, back-to-backs for both teams. But once again, the Oilers find themselves chasing a little bit. What did you see early on in the game, Struds? And was it just me, or did the Canucks, despite a pretty significantly depleted lineup, look like a faster team, quite frankly, in the early going?
Yeah, I think it's important to set the table with the injuries. No Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes is the player that makes the Canucks go. There's no doubt about it. He's one of the top 3 defensemen in the league. Transitions so well. He does everything for these guys. So no Quinn Hughes tonight. None. And that makes a big, big difference. They had guys like Marcus Pettersson playing, well over 25 minutes. I think it might have been his most minutes ever. Phil Hronek, I think he played 28 minutes. Like, they had a lot of guys. There were way, way more minutes than normal, because you take Quinn Hughes' 25 or whatever out. It has a huge impact. So that we have to frame this game around Quinn Hughes not being there, amongst other injuries up front. And with that, I thought the first couple of periods that the Canucks were getting to pucks quicker. They were moving the puck quicker. Still some of the same things we'd kind of hammered on the last little bit. Just, and the Oilers use that word disconnected all the time, but just passes bouncing off of skilled players' sticks when they hit it. And it just slows it down, right? That opportunity to now in the offensive zone go from player A, B, it goes to B, he bobbles it, and I try to throw it to C. It's not there. C's no longer open. C was open when the puck hit your stick the first time. So just a little bit off, just a little bit disconnected as far as, for me, the passing, Schauger, which maybe makes you look a little bit slower because you're unable to make those quick passes in the moment that lead to elite goal scoring chances rather than just goal scoring chances.
Yeah, it's been a few games this year, Struds, where one of our first pieces of analysis off the top of the show is using the word disconnected, talking about guys who are normally so good and so efficient with their passes, right? McDavid and Draisaitl operating with such less efficiency than we're used to seeing. If you were to take 10 Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid puck touches when they're at their best, they'll be like 8.5 or 9 would be positive or neutral. And they're not anywhere near that right now. They're like 5 or 6. It's like 50-50 which way their puck touches are going to go right now. It's a pretty dramatic drop-off. And when you think about how much they have the puck, Struds, it's a lot for them to get back, because it really has been noticeable on the sticks of those two.
It has. And then it translates to everybody else. So, there was a play where the puck kind of they were trying to transition from their own zone back up. And I want to say it was, I remember it being Nurse, Leon, and Roslovic. Every pass was just slightly behind a guy or just in his feet. And, they're good enough to pick those passes up, but it slows you down. It slows down that ability to get going and transition and move on to that next play through there. So I talk about those 3, but it's a lot of guys through the lineup that are just, for whatever reason, it's just that little bit out of it. And they haven't had a lot of practice time, and it can affect you a little bit, but I mean, it's not like these guys just learned to pass, in September. So they are fairly skilled group, and they're meant to be a skilled, fast forward group that can really make these plays. So fatigue, it could be a little bit, maybe a little bit less pop, but you can get down and really hammer those passes down a little bit more detailed, like.
And they did in the second half of the game. I thought they kind of dialed things in. The power play gave them a chance to pick up that extra point. And I think they definitely got things going, Struds, but man, it took them a while, and it took them to have, have their backs against the wall again, be chasing a game and down. Some bad mistakes put them there. It's just like they couldn't find the execution and the energy level that they needed until later in the game. And at that point, they're chasing it in a desperate bid to come back. So let's talk a little bit about what happened. It was Brock Besser who had the first one. I think it was Evander Kane made a pretty nice feed there. But Chris Knobloch talked post-game about turnovers. You know what? I'm just going to roll that clip right now.
I think turnovers, one that led to a penalty kill goal against, one turnover that led to the disallowed goal. It's nice to make plays hitting the blue line, but if it's not there, you're giving up a lot. So that part of our game I didn't like.
So back to that 1-0 goal. I believe it was Wallman that fired a puck all the way across the ice, just kind of ended up getting turned over at the blue line. A weird change, I think, Struds, and then back the other way it goes.
It does. So the puck gets thrown up the boards to the right of the netminder, Pickard. And, Evander Kane's in a foot race with Ty Emberson. Ty Emberson in that moment, whatever's going on, and I think I know you're right when you talk about the odd sequence of changes, but you have to see what you're dealing with in that moment. You can't be, oh, well, someone will get back. Well, no one was coming back, right? It was Kane and Besser and Emberson. That's it. In your world, it gets really small in a hurry. It's a 2-on-1. So Kane, if he's going to go over and pressure Kane, that puck's got to stop there. It cannot get by. The play might be to buy time, might be to fake going to Kane, backing off, protecting the middle of the ice. At worst, you have Evander Kane walking down the wall, taking a shot with very little speed at that moment because he kind of had to turn to make that play. So again, it doesn't matter what you think should happen. You've got to see what is happening that moment, read and react in that moment, and make the play according to that.
So Oilers at the break are down 1-0. 13-8, I believe the shots were on net. And Thatcher Demko, you got the feeling was going to have himself a pretty decent night. Pickard was going to be in tough to outduel Demko on a night like tonight, and I think we saw that in the early going. Go to the second period here, and they end up on a power play, Struds, and whipping it around pretty good. Elias Pettersson seems to have an injection of confidence here in his game, and I think the Oilers power play definitely saw that. Was it just me? Or was Matthias Ekholm noticeably not in that shooting lane? Or was he not supposed to be?
Well, ideally you're supposed to, but that puck's coming around pretty quick, right? So it ran around the horn twice. I've went behind the net, up, over, up to the top, over to Pettersson. He doesn't take the shot. It goes down, then up and around again, and then he's getting in, and he has an absolute one-timer. If you're going to kill penalties against the Canucks, you have to know that the puck is coming to him and he's shooting one-timers. Pettersson, that's what he does. When he's at his best, he's got a really good release, a really good shot. So he's got to get, you can sit on that like Ovechkin and take away, in this case, I believe it was Phil Hronek to shoot in front of the blue line, which you're probably not going to lose. He's a good player, but he's not the same as that guy shooting. So he being Ekholm could have sat on that spot waiting, but it does kind of zip around pretty quickly. And
are you watching it right now? Are you taking another look now? I thought that Ekholm, because it had just been there, I thought one more step and he's right in that shooting lane. And watch his feet, Struds. He stops moving his feet and he knows it's going to his guy. He knows that puck's coming down to Pettersson, and look at his feet. He glides over.
Right. No, so yes, that's true. But he did take away, I thought, kind of half the net, did he not? Like he's taken away part of the net on that one. And it looks to me like
Maybe.
because the opposite fear is if you're not getting there in time to block it, now you're screening your netminder.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it'd be interesting to hear what Ekholm was thinking in that moment, because again, he's taken some of it away, but if you go all the way in, you're maybe blocking out. He was kind of, you've talked about it. I don't know which game it was, but you're kind of neither here nor there. You're kind of in between on the block, and he wasn't quite out there again. So your point's well made. I'm not going to challenge you too much on it. But yeah, you're kind of in between it. Yeah. I guess he could have maybe got there, laid down. I guess he could have laid down a bit more.
Tough to say, but yeah. It's
coming around pretty quick.
One.
You just know it's coming. I would just say, that they're shooting from there. So maybe you cheat out a little bit more, or don't take away the middle of the ice quite as much.
Yeah, for sure. Matthias Ekholm is really struggling right now. This is as much, and we're going to assume that he's reasonably healthy, Struds. We're going to resume that most of what he went through last season, he had time to recover from and came back healthy. If he's playing through more things, I'm not aware of it. they might not make us aware of it, but this is as much as we've seen him struggle while healthy in his time here in Edmonton, I would submit.
So that's 100% true. And I know I don't want to skip too far ahead, but if you want to get to the next goal, I believe it's the next goal, so Leon scores, but just get to the, well, just because we're on the Matthias Ekholm, the Kiefer Sherwood goal against.
Yeah.
Matthias Ekholm is as steady a defender in this league the last number of years as anyone else.
Stout.
You rarely see him get beat one-on-one. You rarely see him give up the middle of the ice. If you didn't watch the game, Sherwood, Kiefer Sutherland was not at the game, but Kiefer Sherwood was. He comes down and he glances to his right like he's going to pass the puck. And you see Ekholm leave the middle of the ice, and that gives a breakaway to Sherwood. I don't remember that happening since he's been here. Now, it may have. I may have forgotten one. If I do, please remind me. But that is something you don't see from Matthias Ekholm. So, we can debate the goal against on the PK. Yeah, he could have been there or not. But for that, he needs to be there for that. And that is so unlike Ekholm and the way that he plays the game for the Oilers on the defensive side of the game.
Yeah, him getting danced in the middle of the ice, buddy, that was a weird sight. I saw it and went, like skates turned the wrong way, fishing for a puck, not making sure. I mean, that's just everything that guy is against. That's just the anti-Ekholm play right there. And it's been tough. He's had a hard time finding his game. He's had a really hard time finding his game. And he's making lots of mistakes that are uncharacteristic of him. And we're not seeing the level of D. The offense for me doesn't matter. I mean, first and foremost, he just needs to, of the two ways that he can play, this team needs him to be dialing it in defensively right now and just moving the puck and dialing it in defensively. And he's struggling on both of those fronts.
So I didn't know, I never had the injury that he had last year. I don't know anyone who really had it. But I wonder if there is a time to get back. What did that look like for him? Because you got to remember they ended in, let's just call it middle of June to keep it simple. And then, but he was trying to play, it wasn't working. And then how long does it take to heal? How long does it take for him to get up to speed? Like when could he actually start working out like he normally would have? Is it July 1st? Yeah. I doubt it. Maybe August 1st, buddy. Maybe it was September 1st. I have no idea. He looks really out of sorts. There's a way better game inside of him. And I'm going to believe that it's something to do with that injury and his timeline and his prep for this season, because this is like that play today. That is so unlike anything we've seen from Matthias Ekholm. It's even when he's 4 or 5 years from now, if he's still playing, that's a play that he won't get beat on because you just stand there. You don't have to go anywhere, right? He's maybe trying to do too much.
Well, he had the torn adductor. I think that, right? That's on the inside of the leg, on the inside. I mean, it's very similar to golf groin from what I've heard, Struds. And so he's
get their guy over. Go see your guy, girl. It'll fix it up.
Over at the Bridge Sports Physiotherapy. Okay, let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox, shall we? I want to hear from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who was interviewed after the game. Gave a few thoughts about what he thought was going wrong. Just remember that the end of season AC sale is on now. From Weiss Johnson. Get up to 20% off any in-stock air conditioners. Check out the website, wjjingle.com, for exclusive specials. And those are just for Got Your Back Jingle lovers. That's wjjingle.com for exclusive specials. Jingle.
Weiss Johnson, whoa. Proud to be local and family owned. Count on experience.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
We worked hard to get to that point, so obviously you want to get that second point. Thought we created a lot of offense, just couldn't get much by him, especially early, but we stuck with it, and at that point, obviously, you're hoping for the extra, but we did a very good job of battling.
What are some of the things that you guys know you're capable of, but not necessarily seeing throughout the full 60 minutes in recent outings?
Well, I mean, obviously, offensively, we're trying to bear down, and I mean, we end up getting 3 tonight, but obviously, it hasn't been easy as of late. So we're going to keep working on that and keep bearing down. But I think just a few little breakdowns that we all know we can correct, and we'll get back at it.
So they did get back at it in this game, Struds, and clawed their way back. It was a nice turnaround for them. Leon Draisaitl, who I thought really struggled in the first half of the game, was making a lot of those plays that you and I had been discussing, weird turnovers in his own end and passes that are missing and those sorts of things. But they do manage to get themselves back into it. And Evan Bouchard, just an Evan Bouchard type moment, just truly brilliant pass, and that is the positive side of this player's game, is he can do that in a way that not many can.
Oh, that pass was unbelievable. Unreal. Evan Bouchard, his ceiling and his floor, the difference between the two is the largest and any player in the NHL. There is no doubt in my mind that there is, because just, within the same game, there's a disallowed goal where it's clearly a 3-on-2, and he plays it like a 2-on-2, and that just allows Sherwood to go in on a goal. Now it was offside, and whatever. But it's incredible that you can do that great a thing and then have that floor. So it's now it's 2 games in a row. We've seen him goal, we've seen assist, and just really good plays there. I hope that he's getting traction here, and we'll see less of the floor, or maybe not less of the floor. Maybe the floor will rise up, and that'll kind of steady his game, and that'll help all the D as a whole, because he's, if not the leader, he's got to be one of the leaders of that core back there.
Matt Blom, Bouchard has the skill. You just need to get him out of hibernation before the playoffs. He's definitely been in hibernation in the early going here, but that was a fantastic play. And add that to the goal that he scored last game. Yes, there has been lots of negative, and it's been well documented here. But I thought, Struds, it was, in some ways, I would say, a step forward from where he was before. Was it just me, or was that pairing okay? The other pairing really struggled, I thought, 14 and 96. But to me, Nurse and Bouchard were definitely the better of the two pairs. And they should be, frankly.
Yeah, so I don't think we even mentioned that. They did change the pairings today. Nurse with Bouchard, and then Ekholm with Wallman. Yeah, sorry, thanks.
Yep.
So those guys, yeah, I didn't think Nurse and Bouchard, were too bad. I thought that Ekholm had some tough moments, and I think that Wallman. I like Wallman with Nurse, right? I like that pairing together, and I understand why they broke them up. I would have loved to have been in there for that conversation. So who told them? Why did they say they're doing it? And what was the reaction from the guys? Because you're not breaking up your third pairing. Hey, Kulak, Emberson, you guys haven't been good enough, so we're gonna put you with someone else that we maybe think is better. You're breaking up the top 4 because it's not working, right? It's not working, and that is not a good place to be for Wallman, although he's been not too bad since he's returned. So, but the other 3, they haven't found their mojo just yet. So I would have loved to have been in on that conversation. I'm guessing it was the big man, Knobloch, but it could have been Stewart as well, who runs the D.
Just to put it into some perspective, when Bouchard and Darnell Nurse were on the ice together at 5-on-5, shots were 11-3 for the Oilers, and shot attempts were 23-9 for the Oilers. So more often than not, pushing the puck in the right direction. Let's get to our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll while we're on the topic of the Blue Liners, shall we? Get fit now, says DeBoer's. Before you get out the shovels and the ice chippers, get fitted while you still have your summer swing intact. The TrackMan bays are ready and the deals are hot. So go down and check out their Pro Shop style atmosphere, 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. That is the address. It's a great, awesome spot to go. And as the weather is turning, great place to go and get your brain back into that golfing place. Zuby, what do we got tonight for a poll, buddy?
Yeah, so lots of talk about the defensemen, obviously. So the question we posed tonight is, of these Oilers defensemen, whose game are you most concerned about in the short term? We kind of added that because not thinking about Ekholm with his age and whatnot. We're not looking too far down the road. Who's giving you the most grief right now? The choices are Bouchard, Nurse, or Ekholm, the three guys kind of most in the spotlight for the blunders and boo-boos as of late. And then we've got the fourth choice, other. And of course, I invite anyone voting other to go ahead and throw their write-in vote in the stream.
All right, good stuff, Zuby, and we will get to those results coming up a little bit later on in the show, right before our Ask Us Anything segment. Struds, the Oilers push it into overtime thanks to a power play. And again, that power play is a result of a few really strong shifts where they just they keep the feet moving. And that was a portion of the game where they were moving better than the Canucks. They were being the ones dictating in the offensive zone, and that's when good things happen and penalties are drawn.
You're making them respond to what you're doing rather than earlier in the game. It was the Oilers responding to what the Canucks were up to. So I like that moment. You're skating, you're making them do something to you. And then bang, you're skating and boom, there's a broken slash or a broken stick off a slash. Like I like that. I like the way they're moving. I like the way they're skating. But again, make them react to what you're doing. And that's when the Oilers are at their best, they're doing it that way. And we've seen it now. I want to say the last three games in the third period, right? Montreal, Seattle, and now Vancouver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the power play is finding it when they need it. It's been one of the bright spots. And a really nice feed there from Connor McDavid. Oh, I wanted to check McDavid's stats line real quick here. I hadn't looked at it. Yeah, so he had 8 shot attempts tonight. The other night, didn't even have a single shot attempt. So, that's something that was in his orbit and something that he wanted to change. What happened in overtime there, buddy?
Well, I thought the Oilers had some pretty good chances, right? You see off that initial draw how hard they skated for that puck. Like it was a race to get control, and they got it. And they were moving around. They just couldn't quite get the perfect shot. Like Connor had a shot, but it wasn't a grade A chance. It was a good chance, but what is an amazing? And then they get it changed. Both teams change, and it goes in the other end. And they're moving around. And what my fear when I watch 3-on-3 is that what we saw is that a forward ends up in front of the net against the opposition, and we saw Mangiapane in front of there. Brock Besser, I'm not sure if he recognized that mismatch or if he just was getting to the net, but center forwards don't generally tie up sticks in front, don't get good body position. Besser shoots it, tip puck by Sherwood, game over. So and again, it's not a mismatch that Mangiapane is not a good player. It's that he doesn't understand what it's like in front of the net and how you tie up a stick. Because Sherwood got a stick on it. He could have tied it up. So again, I don't know if I should give Besser credit or not, but he did it. So let's give him credit for recognizing what was going on in front of the net there.
Yep. Yeah, and Sherwood had himself a night, hey? Got 2, scored 3. That's a useful player. That's a useful player that brings energy through the lulls of a regular season.
He brings energy, right? $1.5 million. Like that's a really good deal. He's unrestricted after this year. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him, but if he gets in there and he can score, even the one that was disallowed, that was a nice play. And in that moment that was disallowed, he's the one that backchecked on Tomaszek. He's the one that scored the goal. So he actually basically assisted his own goal by the way he got back and pressured Tomaszek. And that's where in that play, like Tomaszek has to understand, you can't lose the puck 10 feet on either side of the blue line. You just can't.
Mm-hmm.
It does not happen. And what's happening, I think that some players are recognizing what his speed is like. And they're like, I can catch this guy, catch him from behind. They did. And it's a very dangerous spot to lose that puck. And he's lucky he didn't get burned there.
Yeah. So 4-3 in overtime is the final score. Gives us a chance to check in our storyline brought to you by Play Alberta. A reminder on game days, keep an eye on our Got Your Back feed. Zuby will put out a line that we think is interesting based on some stories we're keeping an eye on. Play Alberta. Want to know how Alberta wins this NHL season? You can find odds boosts on every Oiler game with Play Alberta. And for a limited time only, listeners can get a $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using the code GYB50. So Zuby didn't hit tonight on the line, but we're thinking that maybe Mr. Savoy would finally have a chance to get on the board here, and a swing and a miss. And I think the chances definitely fell when he ended up on the fourth line to start the game.
Yeah, maybe the information that trickled in as we got closer to game time. On the one side, we had the Oilers to win. Quinn Hughes not playing. That seemed like we were leaning the right direction there. And then seeing Matt Savoy with only 8 or 9 minutes of ice time, whatever it was, and certainly I don't recall him factoring into any big chances. We had our fingers crossed that he'd somehow find a way to snag an OT winner, but that's tough to do from the bench. So. Yeah, swing and a miss tonight, but we're still looking at. We're always thinking about what we're going to talk about, what the story of the game might be.
Yeah, Struds, what did you think of the adjustment down to the fourth line for him, Howard as well, those guys from riding high with the big boys to on the fourth line again, trying to sort out how to do something with not much?
Yeah, and then it's really, sporadic ice time. I thought Howard had one really nice moment where he broke in, didn't quite go offside. Leon feeds in the puck, and that was a really nice play. Like that was an offensively minded player creating something and getting open for a guy that he'll get you the puck if you're open. And that I really like that. That was like I really like that moment for him. We saw it earlier when he scored his goal. Savoy tonight, I didn't think he had a lot of chances, not a lot of opportunities. He and Tomashek and Howard, it's fairly inexperienced or as experienced a line you can probably find in the NHL tonight. Like between them, they don't even do they have 30 NHL games? So really, really young line. But to be honest with you, against you, it wasn't like the Canucks are rolling with a bunch of studs in their third and fourth lines either, with all the forwards they're missing. So they should have been able to compete against some of those players that were on that third and fourth line when they got an opportunity. So not a bad night from them. Not a night where there was a much offensively happening for anyone on that line, except for that one Howard explosion.
The one play I really didn't like from Howard was, where was it? Yeah, it was in the third period where he's racing to get the puck just at the red line. He runs out of room. Yeah. Like he runs out of room. You're going to get one of three things is going to happen. You either chip it down the ice knowing you haven't made center and just ice it. The other team throws their top line over the boards against your tired fourth line full of rookies. Or you just eat it, right? Grab the puck, spin back towards the board, absorb the hit. And I just didn't like the fact that he very obviously just chipped it down the ice, sensing that the hit was coming. You got to make a more composed play there.
Calm. Just chip it below their blue line, right? Below their blue line. I do want to acknowledge Tomashek on the Draisaitl power play goal. He did a great job in front. He held everyone there and opened it up for Leon to be open on that pass because he's standing there. He was an option. If they take away Leon, Tomashek's the option. So I really he's really smart in around that area. I think creates openings for Connor to pass the puck. Unfortunately, not to him, but still, he's there, not getting points, but there.
All right, let's wrap this segment with our relentless player of the day, Struds, and that is brought to you by UCAN Youth Services. It's an Edmonton charity relentless about helping 16 to 24-year-olds step out of harm's way and into meaningful work. Make that change today right here at home. UCAN.ca is the website, and Got Your Back is a proud monthly donor at UCAN Youth Services, and certainly encourage you to do the same if you have it within your means. Who are you going with tonight, Struds?
8 hits gets Trent Frederick, the relentless player of the night. I thought it was noticeable. He was trying to be physical. He challenged Evander Kane to a fight, which I loved. Like, yeah, you're teammates, but you weren't teammates for 10 years. So he asked him to go. He gloved someone in the face. Like, he was noticeable out there. And I thought that he had the puck on his stick for more than we've seen the last, for quite a while. So liked his game today. Not where I think it should be, but a step in the right direction.
Yeah, he needed to have a night where he was noticeable for his physicality and noticeable for those intangibles that he brings that this lineup needs. And he finally was able to do that. So put one on the board for Trent Frederick, 10 games into the season here. Let's see if he can follow that up. I know it's tough to be doing that every single night, but just a little closer to that, more nights than not, I think, would be the goal for Trent Frederick. That's our relentless player of the night. And that is our breakdown brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. Quick break. When we come back, let's go a little big picture here on McDavid and Draisaitl's start, on the Oilers' start through 10 games. How does this rate? We'll deal with that coming up next. This is Got Your Back, presented by Timberhouse Developments.
Riverside Motorsports is your ultimate multi-brand dealer. With a massive lineup of motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-sides, snow bikes, e-bikes, and snowmobiles, all under one roof. With Alberta's best selection, a huge parts and accessories inventory, and a fully certified service department, Riverside has everything you need to ride. Family owned and serving Edmonton for over 55 years. See what they have to offer in-store just off St. Albert Trail or online at riversidemotorsports.com.
Mainline Water and Sewer specializes in sewer line repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly. Rolling right along here on Got Your Back. Time now for takeaways, brought to you by Chandos Construction. Chandos doesn't just hire talent, they invest in it. 100% employee owned. So when their people grow, the whole company grows together, ready to build something that matters. Apply now at chandos.com. That's chandos.com/apply. 2 comments here from Jerry Mancini. The first one, and then he dropped the mic and left the pod, I believe. I bought Calvin Klein underwears today. Very comfortable, says Jerry in an oversharing mood in reference to Struddy's World the other night. So glad you found something that works for you. He also says on his way out, good night, guys. Don't stress. This happens every season. Slow start to the season. Things will get better as long as the lines don't keep changing. Need chemistry and continuity. But big picture thought here, Strud. So the Oilers, 4 wins through their first 10 games. Just focusing on wins here. Last season was 4. Year before that was 2. So really the standard for this team the last few years, I mean, this is not that different. It's not as bad as it was 2 years ago. It's pretty similar to where it was last year. They've kind of been here before, and this is the personality that this group has.
I think next summer, next fall, they can just say, you know what? We'll come start playing around American Thanksgiving. You know, we're just gonna, like, let's just be honest. You know, we're not gonna try that hard, or sorry, that's unfair. It's not that they're not trying, but we won't be organized, or maybe our hearts won't be in it for the first 15 to 20 games, and then something will happen, and we'll be like, okay, we got to get going, because it is very similar. But I guess big picture, when I sit back and look at this what's going on, you could probably highlight, I don't think there's a D-man we could say is playing to the level that they're capable of. Up front, I think Nuge is there. I think Mangiapane's had some moments, right? He's at 3 goals through 10 games. So, you know, he's 20 to 30 goals if he keeps that up. I think fans would be fairly happy with that. Connor and Leon, you know, what is Leon up to now? 7 goals? No, it's not.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I mean, that's, you know, those 2 guys. I think Leon's there. Nuge, Mangiapane, 0 Hyman, because there's nothing there. I think Connor, he's got 1 goal through 10 games. You know, there was a lot of hot talk about him getting 60 goals. I don't remember which one of us brought that up, but it doesn't matter now. It's water under the bridge, and apologies accepted, so guys.
No apologies, but it's fair.
No, apologies accepted, because he's on pace for 8 goals. So whatever, like, let's not beat each other up and go after it, but apology accepted. And then, but when I look at it, there's not a lot of people playing up to what we expect from them. And who cares what I think, what they think of themselves. So, you know, I think the new Hyman makes a big deal, but I think that Oilers fans should rest easy tonight. And as they wake up tomorrow morning listening to this, that this team has tons of upsides. It has not been touched at all in the first 10 games.
Mars Boy says, at least we're not getting blown out. Most are 1-goal games, except when we give up an empty netter. Knockout Panda, McDavid going to go off when he gets going. So just pulled a couple of quick numbers here, Struds, just to try and get a feel for where McDavid and Draisaitl are at compared to previous years. So this year, through 10 games, McDavid is at a goal, 11 assists for 12 points. Last year, in his first 10 games, he was 3-7-10. So, 10 points in those first 10 games, although he did have the 3 goals. The year before that, 2-8-10. The year before that, 11-11 for 22. Year before that was 22 with 8 goals. And the year before that was 17 with 7 goals. So these last 3 years, McDavid's been like 10 to 12 points. I mean, this is standard stuff for him to start the season, not scoring many goals and off to a pretty sleepy start. Leon Draisaitl, 7-4. Oh, what's he at? 7-4-11. Points per game wise, these guys aren't even close to what they normally do. Last year, he was 6-4 for 10. Same thing. Not a great start for Leon Draisaitl last year. It was 13 the year before that, which even by their standards, I mean, that's okay. 21 in 22-23. 23 in the first 10 games of 21-22. So very different scenarios. They have deep playoff runs. But my point is if you're looking at McDavid and Draisaitl wondering, oh boy, is this the year where there's some level of drop-off that shocks everybody? This is pretty on par for what they've done the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought those numbers up because I think that'll give Oilers fans pause to just rest. And it's going to be, you don't, pause from the panic. I like that. The 1 goal from Connor, I as I watch the games, I feel like he's not shooting when there's a chance to shoot. He's looking for that cross play. As I was sitting there watching tonight, I'm thinking to myself, maybe he's trying to get guys involved, right? Maybe he's trying to get whomever, Nuge going or Mangiapane or others. And that, so we don't know what's going through his mind. But sometimes I just see it like there was one time he just walked out and went far side, just rip it at the net. We'll take it, as especially when nothing's really, you're not scoring, goals aren't flowing into the net like we're used to seeing from this group. So I'd like to see that from him in those moments.
What do you think of Calvin Pickard tonight? Yeah, no, I think that's fair. What do you think of Calvin Pickard tonight, bud? I mean, it's another night where they've got the second best goaltender. I think we'll just say that. But that's a good goalie down at the other end of the ice. I thought, there were some pretty good saves in that third period. But what'd you make of the ones that beat him?
Yeah, he battled. I mean, he battled out there like crazy. The one in overtime, I didn't see a really good replay of it. Can he get out there and, try to knock that puck, that tip? Maybe, maybe not. He battles all the time, and he made some. I thought he made some timely saves, but it's just one more save he makes, and he should be the second best goalie in this game. I mean, Thatcher Demko is their guy or one of their guys. They have 2 guys, I guess, but I'm not going to put this at his feet. But one more save, right? Just give us one more save if you're sitting on that bench, and we'll get there.
All right, that was our takeaways brought to you by Shandos Construction. We're going to have Brownie joining us here right away. Before we do that, let's get to our scoreboard. That's brought to you by the Bridge Sports Therapy. What sets them apart is the fully integrated model where physiotherapists and chiropractors and massage therapists, strength coaches, they all collaborate seamlessly and help you out with whatever is bugging you. I go there myself. Really is a great shop. Organized, awesome setup. Clinics in Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Lethbridge, and opening soon in St. Albert. It is thebridge.fit. Struds, lots of action out there.
Lots of action today. Sharks and Wild have a wild one. Hey-o. Macklin Marini gets it in overtime, his 6th goal of the year. Really nice goal. And then Michael Misa, 2nd overall pick in the NHL draft, got his 1st goal today for the San Jose Sharks. The Lightning now, I believe, have 2 goals. They have 2 wins in a row. They get this over top of the Golden Knights at home. So big OT winner with Kucherov getting the 3rd goal. of the year for himself in that one. We're going to see the Mammoth on Tuesday. Am I going to be in the house? I'm going to be there. I'm singing the national anthem after. No, just kidding. I'm not. But the Mammoth are really playing well. They beat the Jets today. They're getting goals from some of their young studs. Gunther Cooley and Paterka factor in for the winning goal. They're a good team. I'm really looking forward to watching that team play.
It's 8 in a row for them. 8 in a row for them.
They're leading the Central Division, and they were kind of my dark horse, but they are really, really, really playing well, and they've got talent. Like, Oilers fans, buckle up. Tuesday's going to be you thought Montreal was talented. This team, their top 6, might be even more talented. That's how good that group of top 6 is there. The Kings beat the Blackhawks 3-1. Stars beat the Preds 3-2. And finally, the Flames fans can sleep well tonight. They beat the Rangers 5-1. Absolutely spank them to stop a massive losing streak since beating the Oilers in the first game of the season. So congrats to them to get that win, get over the hump.
After their head coach publicly had some things to say about their lack of offense and how guys just have to figure out a way to find it. So the floodgates opened a little bit for the Flames tonight. That'll be cathartic for them and for Flames fans. That was our scoreboard, brought to you by the Bridge Sports Therapy and Training. All right, when we come back, Rob Brown is going to check in for brownie points. We got Struddy's World, Ask Us Anything, core adjustments, tons of shows still ahead here on Got Your Back, so stay with us. This is Got Your Back, presented by Timberhouse Developments.
We have Fence. There's nothing more frustrating than having to wait months for something you're excited about. DLR Vinyl has products you will love stacked to the ceiling in both Calgary and Edmonton. Because summers are for catch and raise, not product delays. Go vinyl at dlrvinylproducts.ca.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
All right, it is time for Brownie Points, and that is brought to you by the Alberta Ram Dealers, a 2025 Ram 1500. It is Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Visit your Alberta Ram dealer to get into this award-winning vehicle at a competitive price. It is capable. It is stylish, powerful. It is Ram. Good evening to you, Rob Brown. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing very good. How are you guys? You guys fighting today?
No. It's been quite cordial.
Good. Yeah, I would say. He even passed up the opportunity to mock me for my 30-minute really intense workout on the elliptical today. I put it on a tee for him, Brownie, and he just stared at me.
No.
So maybe he's feeling sheepish about his loss last night.
That is true. That is 30 minutes. Congratulations. Had I known that earlier, I could have thrown that into brownie points, but unfortunately, the script has already been written. So I'm gonna.
No, you can't.
I know I've got 5 down here, and I'm not gonna bump Leon for you. So I'm sorry. I will try to remember for next game to throw that in there. 30 minutes on the elliptical. I don't know how to spell elliptical, so I'm probably not going to give it to you anyways. But anyways, I got 44 brownie points to Vancouver Canucks keeper Sherwood, who's known more for his sticks than his hands. He scored 3 today, though 1 was disallowed, and played himself into an overtime shift. On one of his goals tonight, he turned Edmonton Oilers star defenseman Matthias Ekholm inside out. He made his coach look like a genius, putting him on in overtime by scoring the game-winning goal. I got 2 brownie points. The Canucks head coach Adam Foote. In overtime, Adam Foote looked down his bench, saw that he didn't have Quinn Hughes, and decided that what he had left of his defenseman wasn't very strong. So the second group out on the ice tonight in overtime were 3 forwards. You do not see that very often in the National Hockey League, but it worked. All three forwards touched the puck, and they end up getting the extra point in overtime. Smart play by Adam Foote. Eight brownie points to Oilers' Trent Frederick, who easily played his best game as an Oiler. I'm not sure if there was a discussion in the last 24 hours with the coaching staff or not, but Frederick looked like an entirely different player. This was the first loud game of the season he had, and he had 8 hits in this hockey game. This now needs to be the expected type of game that we get from Trent Frederick. I've got minus 21, and very rarely do we take points away from Connor McDavid, but it's been pretty obvious that number 99 has had a quiet start to the season. And when I say quiet, it's quiet for 97 because most players in the NHL would be happy with 12 points after 10 games. But I think this weekend really sums up the start to the season for Connor McDavid. In the 2 games this weekend, Connor had just 1 assist. He was minus 2 and was only 21% in the faceoffs, going 2-10 and 5-15 in the 2 games. That is a tough weekend for the world's best hockey player. And on a positive, this is the most, because they took some from one superstar, I have a lot extra, so I'm giving 800 brownie points to Leon Draisaitl for his game tonight. In game number 800, he was the best player on the Oilers, and I thought it was by a country mile. He scores 2 big goals, giving him 7 on the season. And if his line mates would have had a little puck luck, he easily could have had 3 or 4 more points. Some of the backhand passes that he made between the skates of the Vancouver Canucks players were just awesome to watch. Leon has looked more like himself in the last couple games, which bodes very well for this Oilers team starting to turn in the right direction. And unfortunately, that is all the brownie points I have to give out tonight, and my buddy Schauger may have to wait for another day.
Those are excellent, Brownie. And I just want to let you know, I actually offered up, I accepted an apology from Schauger. I'll accept your apology as well. There was a lot of high talking and glad handing early in the year when I suggested that Connor would score, what did I say, 32 goals? Well, he's on pace for 8.
You said 38. You didn't say 32. You said 38.
I think I said 9. So anyway, okay, I don't remember what I said, but I know it wasn't 60 like you two dingle nuts. So I just accepted your apology. I just want to thank you for sending that. You know what?
Hey, the season ain't over.
No,
the season's not over, Struddy.
I got it. No, just I guess Brownie, when I'm looking at this whole situation with Connor, I just said before you jumped on, I think that he's, I don't know, either A, he's looking shots off to find someone else. Like I feel like he's trying to get Mangiapane or Nuge going, or he just doesn't want to shoot it. Like I hate the term waste one, but you're walking out of the corner, you kind of have a lane, just shoot it instead of maybe going backdoor. Today I felt there's a couple of times he tried to go backdoor and hit someone's skate, and then it was a lost turnover. So maybe just your thoughts on what you did or didn't see from Connor in that moment.
Well, I'm seeing more turnovers from Connor than I've ever seen. There were times where Connor McDavid could go 10 to 20 games without making a bad pass. Like his execution on whether it's a 10-foot pass, 20-foot pass, 30-foot pass was 100%. I see the puck's been turned over. I see him coming up the ice and losing control of the puck or getting poke checked at the blue line. There's opportunities for him to score where he's walked in on the goalie and not buried it. These are things that are just uncommon with number 97. When you see him, the one night play tonight where he came through everyone, it seemed like, came in on a goalie, that was automatic before. And then when I saw his face off the last 2 games, I'm like, ooh, this is on Connor. Like, it's odd that he would be trying to get someone going. Nugent Hopkins doesn't need to get going because he's been the most consistent player. Mangiapane, maybe. I just, honestly, I don't know, Struds, because he turned down shots that are so in his wheelhouse. Wheelhouse that you're like, hey, is his hand sore? Like, is there something wrong? Because these are just basic. Like, I'm in the slot. I've got the best opportunity to score. Now, Connor and Leon see the game different than all of us. They have press box vision. where they see the game slows down. But there have been some opportunities this year where you're like, okay, even from the press box, the better play was Connor shooting the puck. So he's just been un-Connor-like. And I think, again, he's got 12 points in 10 games, pretty darn good. But the bar is so high for Connor McDavid that I don't know if he's reached that bar in any of the games yet this year. And that to me is shocking.
All right, and those were our brownie points brought to you by the Alberta Ram dealers. We're going to keep this part of the discussion going, though, in our core adjustments segment brought to you by HSE Core Services. From creating and managing safety programs to audits and those required contractor registries, HSE Core keeps your business compliant so that you can keep working. If you own a business, you know what we're talking about. Visit www.hsecor.com for more information. Struds, I actually felt that he was a little bit better tonight. He did have, I think he was 8 shot attempts total tonight. Missed the net 4 times. There were a couple of times, at least once, where went blazing down the ice and he did shoot. He shot even from the outside a couple of times. I thought he was trying to be on the right side of those decisions tonight as much as he has in the last number of games. I don't know if you disagree, Struds, but it looked like he was trying more tonight to get off that.
Yeah, and lots of shots in that. I guess, I have moments in mind, and I'd have to pinpoint them. I'd have to go back and watch the game, say this was a chance to shoot rather than the pass across. And I just feel like, and I don't want to jump right on Brownie's back and agree with him totally, but when you're in a good shooting area, like as a defender, when I see a guy kind of getting 45-degree angle out from the post, anywhere from like one side to the other, you're in there, I think you should shoot that puck. Like I'd take that chance, especially when it's him. Just rip it in there. You have guys in there digging and making it happen. Now, when Hyman comes back, does it change? Maybe because Hyman's there and maybe he feels comfortable that Hyman's going to pick up some of that garbage. But when you're sitting at 1 goal and we're 10 games deep, I think it's fair to say that the approach he's taking, either he's unlucky, which may be true, but also the approach he's taking isn't quite working through the first, 10 games of the year.
But it also could be too, Struds, is a confidence thing. A confident player wants the puck and is going to shoot it all the time. Like Leon, when Leon's feeling it, every time the puck comes to him, he's firing it on net. Even though he's could be the best passer in the league, he knows when he's feeling it. And all players are like that. And when you're not feeling it, you're like, well, I'm not going to score anyways. I'm going to give it to this guy. He probably has a better chance. I don't want to take away a scoring chance from someone else by just throwing it on net. So Tiger Woods has had confidence problems in his life. So every player will go through it. I don't know if that has anything to do with Connor McDavid, with confidence, but he has turned down scoring chances. Connor McDavid can score from distance. He's one of the few players in the NHL that's got a wrist shot that can score from distance. It's that good. Yet we don't see it near enough. And he has turned down chances where he is the best option. And he has turned down those chances this year. And to me, that's just part of the slow start that he's had to the season.
Struds and I were chatting a little bit before about the adjustments that were made on the blue line. Bouchard and Darnell Nurse end up paired together. Their analytics were actually pretty good tonight, Brownie, though I know there were the odd tough moment here and there. Ekholm and Wallman, I thought, struggled a little bit more. We discussed Matthias Ekholm. Want your perspective on what you're seeing from him. And Struddy can't help but speculate that maybe he's still not right from whatever was bugging him last year, because the drop-off here in the early going has been pretty significant.
Yeah, he looks a step slower than we normally see with Matthias Ekholm. And he also looks, Struddy would know more about turning. But when I was a forward coming down, I would know a defenseman that was really good at turning, and I would know a defenseman that couldn't turn very well. And I took my puck to the side with the defense that didn't turn well. And I don't think Ekholm is the Sherwood goal is a perfect example. He looked 2 steps behind that. Keeper Sherwood had an incredible game, but that's Keeper Sherwood. That's a 3rd, 4th line guy. And not only did he beat Ekholm didn't get a piece of him. usually when you toe drag a guy, he gets like an arm on you, a stick on you, something. So to me, Matthias Ekholm step behind from what we usually see him at, and he's the guy that usually cleans up the mistakes. Well, this year he has made some of those mistakes, and that is very uncharacteristic of him.
For sure. That was a major adjustment that Chris Knobloch made. It'll be interesting to see if against a very good, energetic Utah team, if he decides to stay with that pairing. Those were our core adjustments brought to you by HSE Core Services. All right, Zuby, roll the music. Time for the big guy to take center stage.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
You know, I was trying to remember when he said that "God, I look good" thing, but it's so often. I think it's been at least 5 or 6 times on the show, so I can't pinpoint exactly when that was. The big guy has confidence, and his segment is brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, now featuring Vecca Deck and Wolf Serenity pure PVC core boards, resistant to water, mold, and insects with a natural wood grain finish, protected by UV inhibitors. Your deck stays looking new. Bottom line, this is really, really high quality stuff, good stuff, and without the sanding and the staining of wood. Take a look at this PVC product, available in both Edmonton and Calgary at dlrvinylproducts.ca. Big guy?
I'm in multiple fantasy football leagues, and I love it. I love it. And I honestly, I guess I'm not that competitive. If I win, yeah, I'm happy about it. But what I love is just taking those wins away from other people. So watching other people lose and them suffer. That's what truly brings me joy. And I'm in this one fantasy football league that I'm just annihilating everybody. Like, honestly, guys, it's embarrassing. It's like watching Connor McDavid play against the men's league at River Cree Division 23. It's almost embarrassing. And I throw chirps in the group chat. No one answered. Do you want to know why? Because they're getting dummied. They're getting dummied by someone both on and off the field right now. I should be the manager of the year. I'm also the chirper of the year. For those that are in fantasy football leagues or any fantasy league, if you're getting pounded, stand up for yourself. Answer to that person who's abusing you like I am across every platform of the fantasy football, this particular world. So stand up for yourselves. Make it fun. Otherwise, why are we doing this? Because I don't care if I win. I just want to see the people I'm playing against lose, guys. It's awful.
I love how you started. I'm not competitive. You're the person that you told the story when you're on an airplane doing a Wordle. You started yelling at the kids because they were getting in your head. You had to get your Wordle right. You are competitive.
No, that's the different story. Stick to this one.
So you truly do take the measure of a person, Struds. I've noticed this about you. You take the measure of a person by how they respond to you being kind of at your worst. Like you want to see how people react to you being an ass, and that's going to inform you about them. You pay attention to this. It's not enough to just chirp and be satisfied that you got the chirps off. You're also wanting to see the reactions, and you're reading them.
I want people to stand up for themselves in fantasy football when you're getting trounced by a superior intellect. And that's what's happening. And it's incredible. It's absolutely, no, I'm in another one where the guys, they cheer me all the time. And I love it. I love it. And I'm terrible. I'm last place out of 15 guys. I'm in last place and I'm like way below, but I still get in there. I'm still punching. I punch twice. I get knocked out 3 times. I get back up and I think I'm going to finish 7th this week. And I'm so happy. I could not be happier. 7th place. Just so I can actually maybe punch and get a couple guys on their knees. But you've got to stand up. That's what makes it fun. Otherwise, why are we doing this? Like, it's not real. None of this is, no one's going to become a real GM in a fantasy or in an NFL group because you won your fantasy. No one cares. No one cares. So have fun with it. Enjoy it.
Strud, you're right. I mean, the reason you go in these things with your buddies is to chirp. It's like when you go golfing. It's all about chirping. Like, you just mocking. Like, they miss a 4-foot putt, you are mocking that person for the next 5 holes. That's why we do it. And if you don't, and the thing is, if you don't chirp someone, it's because you don't really like them. You only chirp the people that you like. If there's some guy, well, you never chirp me. I really don't like you that much. You're not worth my time. So I'm 100% on your side with chirping.
Zuby, how do you host a show with this guy once a week, Wednesdays, 12 to 1 o'clock, all across all our channels?
Oh, it's great. I don't feel like he punches down on me, even though he could. He knows that I'm still the delicate flower, and he's not really sure how I'll react. So, but when it comes to fantasy football, I'll tell you, I want to win so it doesn't ruin my Sunday. That's when I've got without fail, I got 4 really good receivers, and without fail, whoever I have to bench one. And without fail, that guy scores a touchdown in the first quarter, and I'm chucking stuff around the theater room here. So that's more my problem when it comes to fantasy football.
Yeah. All right, keep the chirps flowing. He chirped me last night, said Noah Rinsky. Did you chirp Noah Rinsky? Is he talking about Struds there in that comment? Huh.
Oh, you name dropped
Struds.
You name dropped him. Struddy name dropped him for sure, because I didn't watch the entire show, but I did
say something.
hear that moment.
I don't remember what I said, but I'm sure it was insightful.
I think you just told him to settle down.
One of these nights, we got to set you loose on the stream. Like, just grab your keyboard and just sit and follow all of the streams, and like full let's let Struds have at it night, and just let the chirps flow. Yeah. That'll make for a lively Weiss Johnson YouTube chat. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Brownie, you got a prediction on the game before we let you go tomorrow night, buddy?
Oh yeah, Blue Jays are winning. They're going up 2-1. Mad Max is on the mound, and Schneider is not walking out to the mound to pull him out of the game. Mad Max will decide when he's coming out of that game. No, I got Blue Jays all the way. They are winning, going up 2-1 tomorrow night, and I will be sitting in my chair with my pizza and my beer, cheering on my Jays.
You're doing God's work, Brownie.
Whatever it takes for my team.
All right, pal. Thanks for hopping in late tonight, man. We'll talk in a couple of days.
Sound good. Take care.
Okay, that was Rob Brown, and that was Struddy's World. Quick break. When we come back, ask us anything. Lots of great comments coming in on a lively stream here, pushing 12:10 a.m. on, I guess, now a Monday morning. So lots ahead on the show. Stay with us here on Got Your Back, presented by Timberhouse Developments. We hear from you next.
We have Fence. There's nothing more frustrating than having to wait months for something you're...
Choosing to buy a home is one of the biggest financial and personal decisions you'll ever make. It's a decision that requires strategic planning, market expertise, and a trusted advisor to guide the way. The team at Body Realty with Royal LePage AR team combines deep market knowledge, forward-thinking guidance, and exceptional dedication to make the process effortless and stress-free. Where every client is treated like the only client, visit BattyRealty.com, a real estate group like no other.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit BelvedereGCC.com today.
Can't believe I almost forgot about our Take a Lap segment. Got more show to go here. It's brought to you by Riverside Motorsports. Family owned and operated, serving Edmonton and area for over 55 years. They feature top brands like Yamaha, Suzuki, Polaris, Husqvarna, and Gas, delivering the best selection in Alberta. Check them out at www.riversidemotorsports.com or stop in at their store just off St. Albert Trail. Struds, what else we want to take a look at tonight?
Well, injuries seem to be everywhere in the NHL right now, and I don't know this as a fact, but I feel like there's more significant injuries this early in the year than there have in past years. Rickard Rakell, Pittsburgh Penguins, out 6 to 8 weeks after suffering a hand injury and getting surgery. So pretty significant for the Penguins, who are off to a much better start than this Cowboy predicted for sure, Schauger.
Yeah, 8 points in 9 games for Rakell. He had 3 goals, was playing over almost 18 minutes a night. So good player there. That means a lot to them. And he'll definitely be missed here after the Penguins have gotten themselves off to a pretty decent start.
Yeah, probably around Christmas time. You can maybe expect him back, I'm guessing. Next up, the Flames won tonight, as we mentioned earlier, over the Rangers. Matt Coronado, who signed a big extension in the offseason, has been struggling and to score offense. So Ryan Huska, their head coach, pulled him out. And in his words, he said, it's a reset for him. So Matt didn't play tonight. They won. Now, I'm always interested to see what coaches do. So you got a winning lineup. Do you put him back in or do you leave him out and just say, hey, man,
You put him back in.
Do you? Say, why not? Why? You guys all think that reward the team that won. You haven't won in 8 games. Let the guy whoever that guy is, let him live his life.
What if you win again, Struds?
Well, they're not going to win all. They're not going. Let's be honest here. This team's not
Just
going
saying.
on a 10-game heater. Well, then that's
If
the way
you
it
want to
goes.
set that standard, what if the Flames are ready to go on a 4-game heater? You're sitting Matt Coronado out for that 4 games. Like, you made your point, get him back in. And if they can't win with him in the lineup, you're going to be mad at some other people at that point too. Like, you can't prolong it. You can't say it was a winning lineup, so sorry, Matt Coronado, you can't go back in. We don't change a winning lineup. You can't risk that.
Yeah, I would disagree there. I'd never understood changing a winning lineup. We this is the lineup we thought was going to win us a game. You did what we asked, but we're pulling you out. And this is a bit personal, obviously, but I just don't get it. I just let him sit. And listen, this team's they're not going to make the playoffs. So Matt will have a lot of time to play some games. They'll most likely they probably win the next game.
It was about sending a message, and the message has been sent. That is more important than whatever might happen over the next couple of games. You continue to sit him out, and I don't know. Now it's starting to, you're getting into territory where you're going to start causing major issues with guys. So anyway, yeah, we'll agree to disagree. We'll text Huska, see what he's going to do. He's your buddy.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love to hear from me. I got an idea.
Hey, what are your plans?
Yeah, just on this idea, I'd suggest you keep sending them out. And finally, the Washington Capitals were without one of their assistant coaches, Mitch Love. He was under investigation. We'll say it came out that he had some domestic issues in his home. So with that, he was suspended by the league. Allegedly. And then he was now fired by the Washington Capitals. So he is out of the coaching business till next season, at least, with some conditions he can come back. And then he's definitely out, though, as an assistant coach with the Caps.
Did release a statement today, said, while I am disappointed by and disagree with the NHL's decision, I respect the process and accept both the league's findings and the Capitals' decision. I'll continue to openly cooperate through this process. That said, I fully deny the allegations against me and look forward to returning to the sport I love as soon as possible. So that's one of those ones where you let the process play out. Hope everybody's okay on all sides, and hope that everything works out for the best. All right, that was Taking a Lap, brought to you by Riverside Motorsports. And with that, Zuby, hop back in, buddy. Let's get the referendum sealed up on the blue line and where the concern level lies with our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll results, pal.
Yeah, so the question tonight was, of these Oilers defensemen, whose game are you most concerned about in the short term? It's very close. Bouchard coming in with 42% of the vote. Ekholm coming in with 41% of the vote so a huge amount of the of the stream here of the fans concerned about Bouchard and Ekholm. Nurse only 12%. Other was 5%. We did have a write-in vote for I saw Ty Emberson. I saw some people making that their all of the above choice. But pretty overwhelming Bouchard and Ekholm, both with each 40%, over 40% of the vote.
See, for me, Struds, like the way that's worded, right? Who's or were you most worried about? Zuby, what was the exact wording?
Concerned about, yeah, which defenseman are you most concerned about in the short term?
For all the talking we've been doing about him, like, I mean, you know Bouchard's going to be fine. You know that if and when the Oilers make the playoffs, he'll be one of the best defensemen in the world again. That's just what this guy does. So in the short term, this isn't great, Struds, but a lot of the discussing we're doing about this player is not like, what happened to Bouchard? He's no good anymore. It's not that at all. I think everybody knows where he's going to get to. It's just trying to get that floor up higher for a little bit more consistently. So I'm not concerned about him.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Bouchard at all either. I am worried about Ekholm, and you know, this is the first time I've kind of voiced thoughts about his injury and the recovery, and I've been thinking about it now. And was it a couple of years ago he took a reset? Didn't he? He had an injury and he came back flying after that. I want to say it was a groin or something. I don't want to get too far off, but I know there. And I remember thinking, man, this guy's absolutely fine when he comes back. Maybe he needs that to make sure just a quick 2-week healing process or whatever it is, or a small training camp, whatever it is, just to kind of get him up to the level, because he is way different demon than he's showing right now, and there's got to be a reason.
All right, that was our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. Time now for Ask Us Anything, where you get a chance to fire your questions and comments in onto the streams. Brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies, an Edmonton-based independent electric wholesaler offering a wide range of products from lighting and controls, wiring, accessories, control and hazardous products, you name it. And BJ Electric probably has it, serving electrical contractors working in Alberta's oil and gas, commercial, residential, and OEM sectors. Check them out at bjelectric.ca. The chat was electric tonight. Zuby, what's everybody saying?
Well, an interesting thought question that came out of the chat was, who's been the best defenseman? Guessing is easy. Says, has Wallman been the best defenseman so far? So other people then kind of turning that back to, who do you think has been the best defenseman, or who are you least concerned about so far this year, Shugger?
Probably closest to what you just expect from him would be Kulak, I would think, Struds.
Yeah, I think it's unfair to kind of group Wallman in there. He hasn't played much, right? So it's a bit unfair. But yeah, I'd say Kulak, kind of where you think he should be and what he should do. Fairly steady player, right? You know, so I think he's the guy. So that leaves, you know, a lot of players above him who, you know, can just get to where they're expected to be, right? I think that's the biggest thing for that group.
You guys talked about Matt Coronado. Similarly, I mean, not exactly the same, but similarly on the Oilers, Nate Hastings still perplexed by the Philp. Scratching can kill penalties and score. Are you guys surprised to see him come out of the lineup again, Struddy?
I was surprised, and you know, I keep saying you just got to keep working hard and this and that, and it can become frustrating because, like, what do you want me to do? And I hope that there's a conversation between a coach and the player to explain what he is not doing or is doing that's not allowing him to be a regular every night. But you can only deal with what you're getting a chance to do, and he's getting a chance to play when he can. He's got to bring your best. You know, Tomashek, when Hyman comes back, I wonder if he is a guy that's found on the outside of the lineup more often than Philp.
Yeah, I think so. And just a minor correction, the Oilers are not using Philp to kill penalties this season. He's only at 6 seconds average ice time, shorthanded per game. So I think that's something that probably hurts him, the fact that he's a bottom 6 guy and isn't on either special team.
Fair point.
JHB coming off the top rope, is Edmonton a place where young players fizzle? Howard and Savoy, 8 minutes. It's just Holloway 2.0. Oh, I let him say that. I didn't give him the 1 minute timeout that I usually give for the first mention of Holloway or Broberg, because this was a little bit different. Are you guys concerned that there's anything following that pattern, Shogger?
No, not at all. They're in the lineup. They're playing. He's playing them through mistakes. They've been given lots of opportunity. They've been up the lineup with skilled players. They've been down the lineup, but still given opportunity. This is nowhere near the same. There is clearly a development plan in place for both of these players. The problem with Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg, there was no plan. There was no plan. Like, the left side didn't know what the right side was doing between the GM, the coach. What's the plan to develop these players properly? And then all of a sudden the agent gets involved and goes, all right, guys, what are you doing with my player here? Figure it out, sort it out, and get them playing. Those guys were being dragged around on the roster and not being played. These guys are in the lineup, Struds.
Yeah, I like to think that they evaluated what happened with those two players, and they're going to try to change it. And I think you have to, whether they'll admit it was a mistake or not, you have to look at each situation and learn what we could have done differently. And I think that they are playing, they are out there, and they are having some impact in these games early. But it's hard when you're a young player to raise a team and put them on your shoulders, right? It's the big guys kind of have to be doing that.
Did you guys prefer them as the wingers for Henrique with a more experienced guy and getting a little bit more ice time, or do you like this grouping with Tomashik?
I like it with Henrique. I think I like a lot of it. Henrique seems to be the babysitter right now. And that's kind of where he's in his career. He's not a top six forward. He's a third or fourth line center, probably on a really good team, a fourth line center. And he babysits and helps these guys and teaches them. And that's the job, right? You go in, someone does that to you. Then on the way down, on the way out, you pass it along.
We didn't even mention Roslovic tonight. I mean, that's what he was brought here to do. Just a great shot.
Nice shot.
Vasily Podkolzin doing Podkolzin things, and then Roslovic showing why he's got that 20-goal potential, Struddy.
That really, I can't believe we didn't talk about it. That was an absolute rocket because Leon was cocked in the middle of the ice. He was ready. Like, I want that puck. And he rips it. He's like, all right, respect, and give him a high five.
Guessing is easy had actually brought that up. Can Roslovic be the guy who could be the winger with Dry, like Pods with Dry on the left? What did you guys think of that line as a whole, as they seem to be creating, especially in the second half of the game, Struddy?
Yeah, I mean, the fit sounds right. Like, Podkolzin goes and gets pucks, and he just continues to do what he does, as Shogger just said. But if you're going to play with Leon, you've got to score. You've got to score 20, 30 goals, I think, at least. Finish plays off. I don't think that the chemistry is there just yet. I think it's improving. But keep in mind, Roslovic didn't have a training camp, and he's just learning on the fly how to play with Leon Draisaitl, which sounds easy, but it's not, because he has high expectations for you as well.
Shots were 9-4 when those guys were on the ice in favor, and they outscored the opposition 2-0. A couple of even strength goals that line ended up producing that beauty by Draisaitl and Roslovic.
Ro Nelson, she's outspoken. She says the fourth line of Howard, Tomashik, Savoy looks like Knobloch has made his AHL line. They will be sent down. Do any of those guys need to clear waivers? Who you'd have? You'd have to get Kapanen back, Kapanen, Hyman. Like, is there any world where that's how it plays out in your mind, Shogger?
Not all three going down. No, I don't think that Matt Savoy is tabbed for that at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if Tomashik and or Howard at a certain point both spend some time down this year. We'll see. I don't know. Curtis Lazar's performance too will have a little bit of a bearing on that. We haven't seen much of him, Struds. I thought he was, fine, I guess, tonight. Not super noticeable. Or when he was in, sorry.
Yeah, I thought he brought a lot of energy. When he, I think it was last night he had energy in the game.
So I was thinking last night.
Yeah, no, I get it. They all kind of blend in. Was he?
No.
Oh, he's
in. Yeah.
So he had a lot of energy. I thought he was skating and getting in there, and that was the line. It was he was paired with Trent. He brought a lot in, and that's what he does. He brings energy, and he killed a little bit of penalty, made a nice play, actually stopping in the slot. I think that I think Howard will be going down at some point. Again, not a punishment. It's a chance for him to play and keep those minutes, because when Heim comes down, the ice time shrinks again. And someone has to come out. Then Janmark, then you've of course got Kapanen. So it's a lot of players. A whole line has to come back out if they come in.
Sorry about that. My days are blending into one another. I'm forgetting which game is which. That's like 12:30. Couple more, Zuby, and let's land the plane.
2 questions and then one little comment to bring it home. Jerry Mancini says the Oilers defense, are the Oilers defense trying to force passes, and that's what's leading to turnovers, forcing those passes? Like, should they make it simpler and be more patient or cautious? Struddy, I know that's kind of certainly been your criticism of Darnell Nurse. Is that across the board? Is that an issue that's leading to turnovers?
Just take what's given you. See a play, make a play. Just get it up. That's I think the with this group of forwards, they want the puck on their stick and they're gone. So see a play, make a play. That's as simple as I can lay it out. You don't have to make incredible plays for anyone. Just get it up. They'll move it up. They'll give it to each other and do whatever they need to do. So see a play, make a play. Don't look for the best play. Look for the play.
The other side of that too is the forwards. You talk about playing connected. They got to come back. These guys shouldn't have to be making 40, 50, 60-foot passes every time they want to break out. You get guys down, swinging a little bit lower, a little bit more connected. That helps too. So a little bit on the forwards too, to be giving them options.
Canadian asks, do Mangiapane and McDavid seem to have much chemistry? Mangiapane tries too many low percentage plays and loses too many 50-50 battles for my liking to be a good compliment to McDavid. Other folks on the stream kind of asking or putting the pieces together that maybe Mangiapane is just a placeholder until Hyman comes back. But what do you think of the chemistry between those two players, Schauger?
Yeah, I think those are some interesting points. Loses too many 50-50 battles for my liking. Is the puck dying on his stick too much to be able to play with those guys? I would say it probably does more on his stick dies than it does on Podkolzin's. I would say Podkolzin has figured out a way to keep plays alive in the offensive zone. Mangiapane is probably more apt to try some things with it. And so, yeah, there's definitely some turnovers that result. I don't know. It's still pretty early, and I don't think you have the luxury because he's brought here to potentially fill one of those roles, Strud. So I think they probably have to let it ride.
Yeah, and he scored a couple goals. He's up to 3 goals. I mean, in 10 games. All right. So there's something there. I do think that when it's all said and done, Nuge, the way he's playing now, is with Hyman and McDavid. I just think that line comes back together, and then it's an audition for that second spot beside Leon. And then you figure out the third line. Like I just think Hyman coming back settles so much down.
Okay, last little quick comment here, or question, I guess. Lauren the Alchemist wants to know, is Rishaug going on location at the Pink Pony Club? And I bring this one up because my wife asked me too how you choose your lighting for your backdrop. And tonight you had the pink. It looks like it's like you had some more lights going earlier, but right now it's down to just the one pink. And
did they die?
You just got the one there, but my wife wanted to know how you chose pink, or how you choose the color on a nightly basis, especially with so much biophilicism happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of biophilic design happening behind me. I actually think it's white. I think the way it's coming through, it's looking more pinkish than it actually is. So it just depends on the mood. The truth is I actually can't get my other set light going tonight. So if I can't throw light behind me, then I just throw the little lights on. So I was having some technical errors, but it's white in here, but coming across pink there.
Really?
So no,
That's
no
a
Pink
white
Pony
light?
Club. That is, yeah. Oh, I think so. Let me grab it here.
I don't know. That's kooky talk. It sure looks pink to me.
Oh
yeah, that
it's
looks
just
white.
a white
but
light. It's just white. There you go.
That's unusual.
We're into the important stuff here at 12:31 at night, guys. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. And thanks to her. Love that she's chiming in. Always welcome here on the stream. Your better half, Zuby. Time now for our play of the day, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer, your trusted choice for over 40 years, specializing in sewer line replacement and expert water line repair and replacement. Slow drains are a sign it's time for attention, and aging lines can cause basement backups. Their trenchless method is quick, low impact, and often finished in a day, complete with backflow protection as well. Visit mainlinewaterandsewer.ca. After the work I did under my sink, I could basically work for them. If you need anyone to consult for you, Mainline, I've got some pretty significant recent experience, just FYI for you. Struddy, play of the day.
Jack Hughes gets his 7th and 8th goals of the year this year, tonight, and 8th one was an overtime win against Colorado. 3 leading scorers in the NHL. Mark Scheifele, 8 goals. Jack Hughes, 8 goals. And Shane Pinto, 8 goals. Those are your 3 leading so far this year. It's kind of neat to see a couple new faces up there.
Mark Scheifele just beating down the door to be on Team Canada. Just beating down the door, Struds. Man, he'll have to have a pretty significant drop-off not to be there. He's been really good early on this season.
Seth Jarvis, 7 goals. Right behind him. People are talking about him not being on the team. Can't wait to see what this team looks like.
Okay, that'll wrap up the show, everybody. Listen, thanks to all of you. There's a really strong number stayed up real late with us tonight, so we appreciate it. A couple of days here, and the Oilers will take on the Mammoth. That's going to be a big-time task for them. The Mammoth are rolling right now. It'll be a fun game. It's a fun team to watch. So we will, of course, be dropping a podcast after that show as well. Keep an eye out for Ray and Dregs coming your way on Tuesday as well. Lots of content being pushed out here from the Got Your Back studios over the next week or so. We'll have a Struddy's World as well on Wednesday, 12 to 1 o'clock, Struddy and Zuby rolling. So lots of content. Keep her dialed into all of our socials and across all of our channels. Throw us a thumbs up if you don't mind on the way out, and we'll talk to you in a couple of days, everybody. See you, boys.
Good night.